Hey guys, it's Erica Galinas with Century 21 Affiliated here for our weekly market update. This week we are talking about Dyer, Indiana. I have the numbers through the end of October, so that'll give us to compare with September to kind of see where we are going into this, wintertime market as they talked about it. I don't think the wintertime market's going to be as dead as it has been in the past, but we'll see. There's some interesting, well, at least one interesting thing about this that indicates to me that the market is slowing down, but we'll see. So October. In October, we sold 38 total units of real estate. As always, condos, mansions, everywhere in between. Total volume was $14.1 million for an average sales price of $329,000. So that's almost $40,000 more than our average in September, which was $290,000. But when we look back at August, the average was $321,000. So that's about right. I mean, it seems like it went way up, but really it went way down and back up, but it averages out over the quarter to be about $320,000. So nice and steady is always good. Average days on market, only 5 days. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more with some of these active listings. Only 5 average days on markets for the property that closed in October. Average sales to list price, 98.5%. So it's going down. We're not above 100 as we are, have been in some past months. But I mean, we're still at 98.5%, which is basically 100%. Not a big indicator of anything, good or bad. Average days on market in September was 8. Average list sales price was 98.1. So again, when we look back and include those August numbers, that 3-month period, everything is nice and steady in Dyer, which is good news. No new construction closed. As we know in Dyer, there's not a whole lot of new construction left because they either don't have the land for it or they haven't started yet due to labor and lumber problems and things like that. So we'll see probably in the spring or summer, we'll start to see some more new construction. And if Dyer has the space for it, I am 100% certain that they're going to plug homes into wherever they can. $500,000 plus average days on market in Dyer is 52 days, which is a pretty significant amount of time. There's one that's been hanging on for like 600 days. It's on Joliet. I think it has some acreage with it. It's kind of a strange listing. So that average, would go down without that one that's $600 days. But the average on the $1 million homes, is still high, which we've seen in most towns around us. In terms of active listings, actually, let's talk about pending listings first. I want to talk about active listings. Pending listings in Dyer right now, so things that were for sale, have a buyer, haven't closed yet. There are 45 pending listings in Dyer. Only one of them, again, is new construction. The rest are existing homes. 12 condos and townhouses. Some of those are, the more recent ones that were built in the past 4 or 5 years. We're seeing just a couple of those come back on the market. 33 single family homes, which is predominantly what we have in Dyer. The average listing price for these pending homes, again, we won't know what they close for until they close, is $346,000. But there are some $1 million homes on that list, which I took off to give us kind of a better picture. Average is $320,000, which is what we saw in August. It's, again, we had that dip in September, but it's what we're seeing basically in October. So again, nice, steady closing numbers. Average days on market, 5 days. I mean, we've seen, again, houses, I'll say, that are priced well, good location, they're not sticking around in the market very long. We have less buyers looking, but we still have buyers looking, which accounts for that days on market being 5 days. So active listings. This is the one interesting thing that I pulled out of Dyer. Again, steady market's great, but it doesn't make for a lot of headlines. But these active listings, there is something here. We have 41 active listings in Dyer right now. And again, that's all kinds of, tiny little condos to $1 million homes. 41 active listings for an average list price of $458,000, which seems way, it's $130,000 more than what we had. But I took out the $1 million homes. That average goes down to $397,000, which is still kind of a significant price difference between this $320 we've been seeing kind of on average over this past 3 months versus $397. That's pretty significant. Average days on market is 69 days. Keep that in mind. There's 6 new constructions pending right now. There's a bunch of townhouses that they've built. 6. I don't know if that's a bunch, but 6 townhouse kind of deals. Most of them are. And then 8 condos, which also then would include those townhouses, and 34 single family homes. So again, we don't have the listing inventory that we need to get things, really going, but we're kind of starting to see some buyers drop out. So I think things are leveling off. Here's why I think this. So like I said, 41 active listings, average days on market is 69 days. Now we know new construction always hangs out on the market for a long time because they have this one listing, then buyers come into the model and then they put together and they buy a different lot and buy a whole different house. So those numbers are reflected in our closings, but then those active ones hang around in the market for a while. So 69 days with everything. Without the new construction, that changes. Then $1 million homes, same thing. Like I just said, $1 million homes hang out on the market for a while. There's just less buyers for them. There's less financing options. They're $1 million. Like there's any number of reasons why $1 million home stays on the market, pretty much anywhere. So that can also affect the average days on market. So I usually go in and I pull out $1 million homes. I pull out new construction to give us a better idea of what this average days on market is. So I did that. So I went from 69 and I took out $1 million homes and new construction. We're at 40 days, which is interesting. And the reason why I think it is interesting is our average days on market for the closings is 5 days. Average days on market for the pending is 5 days. We still have 41 active listings, so it's not like we only have 3 houses left or something. I don't know for sure, but what I think as a real estate professional doing this for almost a decade is buyers are more, there's less buyers. Buyers have dropped out. It's Christmas time. The kids are back in school. They're getting super frustrated by, missing out on showings because the houses are selling, getting involved in bidding wars, missing out on their offers, good offers, strong financing that they're making and still losing. So a ton of buyers are like, you know what? Let's try again next year. Let's stay in the apartment for another year. Let's move, pay Illinois real estate taxes for another year, whatever it is. They're just done. They're sick of it. And I know this just from talking to my own buyers. A ton of them have contacted me and been like, yeah, we're just kind of sitting this one out for now. So less buyers. So then we have all of these sellers in Dyer and in other towns. It's not just a Dyer issue that have been looking at these sales prices over the past 6 to 8 months, basically since the spring when it really took off. And I mean, 100%, over asking price, bidding wars, all this stuff going on. And these sellers are like, awesome, I'm going to make $1 million, which is fine. Everybody wants it. There's nothing wrong with the sellers either. So they're putting houses on the market that, maybe they need some updating. Maybe they have some kind of issue, too many nail holes in the walls from pictures, or maybe the carpet in the bedroom's kind of scrungy, or things that you would normally take into account when you are pricing your home maybe have kind of been left out or overlooked because so many houses, it's a seller's market. We're selling all these houses for $1 million in a day and a half, whatever it is. The buyers are staying home and they are being more discriminatory about like, hey, this house 2 years ago, I'll make up numbers, 2 years ago was $220,000. They're now asking for $320,000 and the bedroom carpet's all stained. And there's some like weird seepage in the basement. Or this house is 70 years old and hasn't been updated. This was worth $150,000 2 years ago and now they want $250,000. Buyers aren't willing to put up with, they're not as desperate as they were over the summer, let's put it that way. People have made other plans, other arrangements, maybe it's delaying it, maybe they've changed where they're looking, they're going, further south into maybe Jasper County or further east into Porter or LaPorte County. So it's right now a little bit, I think, of a market disconnect. We have these sellers who rightfully so have seen all of these bidding wars and $1 million and everything like that. And they're like, I don't even have to replace my carpeting with the horrible stains on it. People are buying anything. Woohoo, it's my lucky day. And then we have buyers on this side saying, yeah, that carpet's all stained. I'm just going to stay in my apartment, pay my rent. I already have it in my budget. I'm not spending an extra $60,000 and then walking into a house and spending 10 grand on carpet. I'm going to wait a little bit. So these houses are now sticking on the market. And again, not new construction, not $1 million homes, regular single family homes, maybe a couple condos in there, I think, that are sitting on the market for an average of 40 days, which is it's almost unbelievable to have, standard, last month, 5 days, month before 5 days, pendings 5 days, 40 days. So I think what's happening, I don't know if the correction is the correct term because I know that has like an economic meaning, but like I said, this disconnect between sellers and buyers and their expectations is now starting to move further apart. I think this is all good news. If you're currently trying to sell your home in Dyer and have overpriced it, it's terrible news. But prices can always be adjusted, and we still certainly have buyers looking in Dyer, and that is indicated by the fact that well-priced homes were on the market for 5 days, and we're selling at 98% plus of the list price. But I think it is a good thing because sellers, when they sell, have to buy something. So a lot of sellers that I know are saying, I'm not selling right now because even if I make $100,000 in equity, I just have to spend it on the next house, so I'm staying put, which leads to that and some other reasons, but that's the main one, which leads to us having this listing inventory problem, which we've been talking about all year. The sooner we can fix that listing inventory problem, the sooner that we can get the real estate market, I don't want to say under control because that's not really what I mean, but get the real estate market on a more, steady, even footing. People not worrying about, real estate crashes and things like that. So this thing in Dyer, and I don't remember, I don't think it was Crown Point, but one of the ones I recently did, we saw the same kind of issue, might have been Cherville, where pending stuff's going fast because it's priced well. Our historical numbers over the past 6 months are going fast because the market was crazy hot and we had the buyers to buy these houses, but the active listings were sticking around the market for a little longer. So again, I don't know if that's really bad news for sellers. Actually, I said I think it's good news for everybody, real estate agents included, I guess, because having that listing inventory problem is a nationwide problem, and the sooner we can fix it, the better, because then people will be able to make better decisions, better choices, have a better, stability in the housing, which is, kind of an important issue in your life. So we're going to keep an eye on that in Dyer. Like I said, we may see, these actives hanging around for longer. Maybe I'm wrong and they'll all sell tomorrow, but we'll keep an eye on it as we go. So if you live in Dyer, if you know someone that lives in Dyer, if you're thinking of moving to Dyer, please contact me anytime, 219-765-2062. Also, please feel free to share this video. Please do like and subscribe my channel. I do these weekly for towns all over Lake County, and there's some interesting data to be pulled out of these monthly numbers. Excuse me. You can also send me an email at hsbyerica@gmail.com. That stands for Home Sales by Erica. And as always, like this video, comment on it. I'm always happy to answer those questions. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. If you have any questions about buying or selling, but I'm not in your area, I have connections to an international network of realtors who would be happy to help. Give me a call, text me anytime, 219-765-2062. I'll be happy to give you the name of a realtor in your area. Thanks.